Good morning, and song was called Bliss off of Time for Healing. I'm going to play a little short one here, just a couple of minutes, called Two Moons off of the Timeless CD.
Can you stand and sing Shirley's Presence?
Surely the presence of God is in this. I can feel God's mighty power and grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Cite the mission statement. We welcome all as we create loving community, teach universal truth, practice spiritual principles, and live life abundantly. Also, can we read the vision prayer? Together we acknowledge that the universe is safely guiding Unity of Dayton into the future. We release all resistance to change, letting go of what was and embracing the new. We believe that the harmonizing power of love is showing us the way to navigate transition. Together we walk in faith as we welcome what and who is to come with open minds and hearts. Together we are willing and we are ready now. Thank you, God, and so it is. You may now be seated. Good morning to everyone. It is Sunday, November 13th, believe it or not. Time is flying. Welcome to Unity of Dayton. My name is Sue Carter, and I will be assisting Douglas Bluefeller today. Let's open our service. Well, we already did that. Okay. Gotta bear with me. Okay.
Should we open with a prayer? Want to open with a prayer?
We're going to sing. No, we're not. I have an affirmation here. God, the opening prayer. Yeah, thank you. Okay. I use divine wisdom to find my way. When I'm pondering a perplexing question or I need to make an important choice, I reach beyond human reasoning to the limitless wisdom of divine mind, never further away than my next thought. After clarifying my question and considering my available options, I release the situation, focusing instead on the divine presence within. I affirm I am using divine wisdom to show me the way. In prayerful silence, peace envelopes me. As I conclude my prayer time and resume my activities, I may experience a flash of insight or a more gradual understanding. However it happens, I trust my next steps will become clear to me. Confident in my divine guidance, I move forward with calm assurance. But strive first for the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. That's from Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. Okay, can we all sing? Well, we do have an affirmation. God is the only power, one God by many names.
God
Is the only power, one God by many names. Okay, can we stand and sing?
As God created me, I am not a body, I am not a body, I am free, for I remain, as God created me, I am not a body, I am not a body, I am free, for I remain, as God created me.
I want to introduce, you may sit down, please. I want to introduce Douglas Bluefeather to you. I got it out of order. All right. Yeah. Okay. Douglas Bluefeather is an internationally known recording artist and performer of music featuring the Native American flute. Recognized as one of the most accomplished flutists of today, he has released 22 CDs, which have been heard on radio and TV music channels worldwide. The highlights of his career include winning 13 National Music Awards with over 60 various award nominations. He has been a voting member of the Grammys and the Producers and Engineers Wing since 2007. In addition to following the Native American spiritual path for over 25 years, Doug has been a member of Unity of Dayton since 1996. Doug and has presented as a guest musician and speaker at over 100 Unity and other New Thought churches across the country. He is also an ordained minister in the Universal Life Church. And we're going to sing Love is My Decision.
If you want to stand.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give up my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my decision, right here and now. My decision, right here and now.
I'd like to welcome any new visitors. Anyone here for the first time? All right. If you keep your hands up, the ushers will give you a welcome packet that has information about Unity of Dayton. All right.
A song from my best of CD entitled Ancient Memories. It's time to bring forth those ancient memories of how unity and The Red Road, the Native American spiritual path, shares some similarities. So call forth your ancestors. Remember that they are always there for you to call on them and ask for your assistance. lights and prepare for meditation. So I invite you all to close your eyes, get centered. Find peace within. Find that place in your heart where the spark of the Creator lives in all of us. The divine light of God. One God by many names. Manifest what you need. Let go of what you do not need. Find peace within. Gently begin to come back to this realm. Open your eyes. You have journeyed within, and it has been a beautiful journey connecting with yourself, your higher self, and with spirit. Everybody still here? Saw a few people float away. All right. Almatakiapi, Anewashte. So, hello, relatives. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? I see all these beautiful smiling faces out there. Thank you so much for being here today. And thank you for having me back as your guest speaker and musician. I am so glad to be here. And, you know, November is Native American Heritage Month. Everybody know that? Yes. How many people out there know that you have some Native heritage? Yes, I see several hands out there. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about Native American spirituality and some of the similarities to unity. As Sue said, I joined this church in 1996. And during that same year, I also started to honor my own Native heritage. I was aware of it ever since I was 5 years old when my mom said, and I remember I was on my tricycle in front of our old house, and she said, "The reason you get so tan in the summer is because you have Native blood." So I grew up, you know, in inner city Akron, and was aware of that, but in 96, I had a very spiritual awakening right here on this very stage when two natives from New Mexico, Rainbow Eagle and Sabokaniuna Whitefeather, some of you know them. Yes, some of you raise your hand, you know them. They held a sacred pipe ceremony in this very sanctuary. It was the first time that they had ever conducted a sacred pipe ceremony in a church sanctuary. Well, it was during that sacred ceremony that I had a very profound awakening that put me on the Native spiritual path, known as the Red Road. Years later, I became very close friends with Yankton, Dakota Sundance Chief, Standing Elk. His name was known as Standing Elk at the time. Well, when his father dropped his robe, as we say, and passed, made his transition, Chief also changed his name and became known as Chief Golden Light Eagle. So he was a hereditary chief and a Sundance chief. He adopted me into his tribe in 2016 and also made me a Sundance chief in 2017. So I've been involved in both the Unity spiritual path and the Native spiritual path for over 26 years now. You know, when you look at a list or one of those flags that has all of the world religions, you don't see something that says Native American, do you? And that's because Native American spirituality is not a religion. It's simply a way of life. And the same can be said about the principles and practices of unity. They are a way of life. And you'll see Unity's 5 basic principles expressed in slightly different ways that state something like the following. There is only one God. God is absolute good, omnipresent, always present, and omnipotent, all powerful. Well, the same is true in Native spirituality. We recognize that there is only one God that is always present and all powerful, one God by many names in many different spiritual paths as well. Principle number 2, God is spirit and present in all things, and this spirit resides in everything, people, animals, trees, the soil, even the air we breathe, and that's a unity principle. Well, the same goes for Native spirituality as well, because we see God present in all things. The two-leggeds, the people, the four-leggeds, the animals, the tall standing ones, the trees, the winged ones, the birds, the swimming ones, the aquatic life, the creepy crawling ones, the insects, everything down to the tiniest grain of sand. We recognize that God, the Spirit of God is moving through everything. And that's why when we say the Lakota phrase, "Matakuye Owasin," we are saying we are all related, meaning to the stars, the planets, all life in the universe is all connected, all related in the giant cosmic web of life. It was the Lakota medicine man Black Elk who said, "Peace comes within the souls of men when they realize their relationship, their oneness with the universe and all its powers. And when they realize that at the center of the universe dwells Wakantanka," the Lakota word for God, "and that this center is really everywhere. It is within each of us." Principle number 3, thought dictates action. You know, human beings create their experiences by the activity of their thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. Well, the same is true in native spirituality and all spiritual paths. And before moving on, I'd like to interject this here. It was about 3 weeks ago, I was finishing up my voting for this year's Grammy nominees, and I ran across this word, or this song with words by country music icon Willie Nelson. And I was really struck by these words and what they have to say about thought and how our thought dictates action. And these are from the song called "Energy Follows Thought" from his album called "It's a Beautiful Time." And the words are, "Imagine what you want, then get out of the way. Remember, energy follows thought, so be careful what you say. Be careful what you ask for. Make sure it's really what you want, because your mind is made for thinking, and energy follows thought. Your mind is in control, even when you do not know. And if you let it idle, ain't no telling where it will go. Wherever you are sleeping and your dreams take you away, go on with your dreaming and listen to what they say. And if you hear spirits talking, their wisdom can't be bought. Apply it to your thinking, and energy follows thought. Your mind is in control, even when you do not know. And if you let it idle, ain't no telling where it will go. Imagine what you want and get out of the way. Remember, energy follows thought, so be careful what you say." Metaphysical Willie. It's actually a very beautiful song. It starts out with some very ethereal keyboards, and it doesn't sound like a country song at all. Those words, wow, they just blew me away. Very, very strong words. Well, getting back to the principles. Principle number 4. Prayer is a direct link to God. Prayer is creative thinking that heightens the connection with God mind and therefore brings forth wisdom, healing, prosperity, and everything good. In native spirituality as well, our prayers and our ceremonies are a direct link to God and Spirit. Whether it's praying with the chanupa, the sacred pipe, or praying in a sweat lodge, praying on a vision quest, or praying during a Sundance, prayer is our direct link to God as well. And principle number 5, daily practice, knowing and understanding the laws of life, also called the truth. Well, the key to this is that a person must also live that truth that he or she knows. And the same is true in all spiritual paths. You simply have to, and most importantly, walk your talk for all of these principles to be applied and to work for you. Walk your talk. So, by practicing unity principles, you're already practicing some Native American spirituality in a way. Because those 5 principles in different words, very similar words, can also be applied to the Red Road. You know, in their essence, both the Red Road and Christianity have the same goal: to bring the individual into harmony with eternal truth and with God, or the Great Spirit. and knowing that God is spirit and present in all things, God the good, omnipotent. Well, sadly, in the effort to bring truth to some natives, most all natives, some organized religions often made significant efforts to destroy or take away the truth the indigenous people already had and to demolish our heritage and our culture. A better way would have been to take the time to see the beauty existing within our culture and the power and the healing that blessed our people with our ceremonies and our medicines. And those ceremonies and medicines still exist. Well, actually, the Fillmores, the founders of Unity, did take the time to see the truth and the beauty and the power of the Red Road, because part of what they studied was Native American spirituality. Now, here's a connection I know you've heard many times. This is from the book Mother Earth Spirituality by Ed McGaw. It's known as Ed Eagleman McGaw. I'm talking about a sweat lodge in here. Now, I've actually never done this in a sweat lodge, but it's written in this book. So think about it. Who said it first? It goes like this. The leader conducts the ritual with a short final prayer, a prayer of thanksgiving for his successful sweat lodge ceremony. It is not traditional to hold hands in the ceremony, but in this modern era, this is a good new custom that can be adopted. All may join hands and repeat this short, meaningful prayer. The light of the Great Spirit surrounds us. The love of Wankantanka enfolds us. The power of the Creator protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever I am, the Great Spirit is. There you go. And you might not know it, but Charles Fillmore was born in 1854 on a Chippewa Indian reservation near St. Cloud, Minnesota. So Charles grew up around native ways at a very early age, and his father was actually a trader with the Chippewa, trading goods. And here's a story about young Charles. The elders of the tribe recognized young Charles as having been marked by the Great Spirit to do divinely preordained work. They believed that he needed to be prepared spiritually with ceremonies. For this purpose, Charles was kidnapped by members of the tribe at the age of 2 and taken through the appropriate rituals. He was then returned to his family later that evening in perfect condition, unharmed. And Charles could never remember exactly what they had done or why they had taken him, but he always had the feeling that they had used him in some mystical ceremony. So again, the elders and the medicine people of the tribe knew that Charles Fillmore would grow up and have important spiritual work to do. And here we are. Yeah. Another little piece of information. Although Native spirituality goes back thousands of years, it wasn't until the Freedom of Religion Act of 1978 that Native peoples could once again practice their spirituality without the oppressions of the last several hundred years. 1978, that's like yesterday. Well, Native spirituality is earth-related. It's a very natural way. There's no sacred book like the Bible or the Quran. There's not a sanctuary like this. Our sanctuary is out there. It's by the trees. It's in the sweat lodge. It's out in the natural, any place outside. The teachings come from the natural through ceremony, prayer and meditation, and from watching the animals. It's about living in balance with the universal and spiritual laws of creation. And we strive for that on the unity path as well, don't we? We strive to walk that talk and be mindful of those universal and spiritual laws. There are lessons in this Earth School, and we're here to learn those lessons. And we ask that if we need to learn these lessons, that we be hit with the cosmic feather, not the cosmic 2x4.
Yes.
Yes. So in Unity, we always look for the metaphysical meaning in these lessons. How do we interpret certain doctrine outside of the human sense of perception? What's it trying to say? Now here's a very beautiful description of the red road. And I ran across this several years ago. I don't know who wrote this, but I've always loved this. I've talked about this several times. And you can easily substitute the words to walk the unity path for the words to walk the red road. It goes like this. The red road is a circle of people standing hand in hand. People in this world, people between people in the spirit world, star people, animal people, stone people, river people, tree people, the sacred hoop. To walk the red road is to know sacrifice and suffering. It is to understand humility. It is the ability to stand naked before the Creator in all things, for your wrongdoings, for your lack of strength, for your uncompassionate ways, for your arrogance. To walk the red road, you always know you can do better. You know that when you do good things, it is through the Creator, and you are grateful. It's always important to say thank you. To walk the red road is to know you stand on equal ground with all living things. It is to know that every creation carries a spirit, and the river knows more than you do. The mountains know more than you do. The stone people know more than you do. The trees know more than you do. The wind is wiser than you are, and animal people carry wisdom. And you can learn from every one of them because they have something that you do not, that I do not. But we're all in this together. And what they have is they are void of evil thoughts. They wish vengeance on no one. Very important lesson to remember. To walk the red road, you are given rights. You have the right to pray. You have the right to dance. You have the right to think. You have the right to protect. You have the right to know Mother Earth. You have the right to dream. You have the right to vision. You have the right to teach. You have the right to learn. You have the right to grieve. You have the right to happiness. You have the right to fix the wrongs. You have the right to truth. You have the right to the spirit world. To walk the red road is to know your ancestors, to call for assistance. It is to know that there is good medicine and there is bad medicine. It is to know that evil exists, but it is cowardly, as it is often in disguise. It is to know there are evil spirits who are in constant watch for a way to gain strength for themselves at your expense. There's never been a word in any native language for the word evil. To walk the red road, you have less fear of being wrong because you know that life is a journey, a continuous circle, a sacred hoop. Mistakes will be made, and mistakes can be corrected if you're humble. For if you cannot be humble, you will never know when you've made a mistake. Think about that. If you walk the red road, you will know that every sorrow leads to a better understanding. Every horror cannot be explained, but can offer growth. To walk the red road is to look for the beauty in all things. To know that all things are created, related. To walk the red road is to know that you will one day cross into the spirit world and you will not be afraid. When it comes to deities, in Unity we believe that Jesus expressed his divine potential and sought to show humankind how to express ours as well. We see Jesus as a master teacher of universal truths, a way shower. Many indigenous cultures had a master teacher, a deity that came to them as well. The Hopi had a deity they called Masa, very similar to the word Messiah. Messiah came and gave them their prophecies by which they were to live. Messiah told the Hopi that he was the beginning and would be the end. Very, very similar to the Alpha and the Omega. And the Hopi prophecies have been some of the most accurate to come to pass of all the prophecies out there. The Lakota had White Buffalo Calf Woman, who appeared and gave the people the gift of the sacred pipe, the chanupa. And in so many words, she told the people that when the world was at the fork in the road, so to speak, she would again appear, there would be a sign, and she would be there to help bring balance and harmony and spiritual balance back to this world. You might say similar to the second coming of Christ. Well, this prophecy came true with the birth of the white buffalo calf miracle in 1994 in Janesville, Wisconsin. And we all know that we need harmony and balance for the human family and our planet more than ever. And that sacred chanupa still exists today. It's been handed down for generation after generation. Chief Arville Looking Horse has been the carekeeper of that sacred pipe. And when Miracle was born, it was born to a family of farmers, and I've been there, I've seen their land. They had no idea that this prophecy existed. They didn't report it to the news, nothing was said on the TV. And a couple of days after Miracle was born, Chief Arville Looking Horse showed up at their door. It hadn't been on the news, like I said, nothing. He didn't get a phone call, hey, it's come true. He said, I had a dream and Spirit told me that our long-awaited prophecy has come true. And he went on to say, just so that you know that what I say is true, he went on to describe where everything in that man's house was laid out in perfect detail. He knew because Spirit came and told him that the white buffalo calf had returned. So in closing, remember the sacred lesson that we are all related. Believe that we have the power to manifest our destiny, to create a future of beauty and peace for everyone. Remember to teach your children, your grandchildren, that we truly can make a difference in the world, because in the end, when we stand before the Creator, Father, Mother, God, we'll not ask about your love life, your business affairs, your politics, or cheating on your taxes or your indiscretions. Father, Mother, God will ask if you cared for her people, the creatures, the land, the trees, the grasses, and the mountains. Father, Mother, God will ask if you loved and if you carried love in your heart. If you looked after and honored your own, if you stood for what is right, if you gave of yourself, if you protected those who needed protecting, if you fed those who were hungry, gave warmth to those who were cold, friendship to those who were lonely, comfort to those who were in sorrow. Father, Mother, God will ask if you cried, if you smiled, if you cared. So may we accept this time that we live in with all of its challenges, with love, light, peace, compassion, understanding, gratitude, all do our part to create a world of beauty. As co-creators, let us be the light of the world and walk into the future with no fear, because we stood in line to be here at this time. And as a Hopi elder has said, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Matakuyasu. Lord God, thank you for this. Have a blessed Thanksgiving, everyone.
Now the ushers will be asking for offerings. Oh, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Gratitude is gratitude is my need. Gratitude to the left, to love me. Gratitude love me. Gratitude is around me. I'm so grateful. 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 I'm so grateful.
And now the ushers will be bringing up our donations for the front blessing.
Creator, Father, Mother God, we bless and give many thanks for these gifts, knowing that these gifts will help Unity of Dayton continue to grow. And we give blessings and many thanks to those who gave.
Okay. Okay, we still have a streaming audience out there, and I think it's coming. Oh, okay, where are they now? Pardon me, I'm getting. I know. I gotta get to them, to the last page. Okay, let me do the announcements just first. This week, during our month of Thanksgiving, we want to highlight Christine Wilson, Joanne Welland, and everyone, Colleen, and everybody that was here
Everybody at
yesterday.
the craft show yesterday.
Right.
Thank you so much for all of that. I can't wait till next year.
Yes, we did. It was beautiful. Your dedication and love for Unity of Dayton is very much appreciated. Today, after the service, there will be a very important meeting or training for all ushers. All ushers and anyone interested in joining the usher team, please meet with Victoria Heron in the front of the sanctuary at 12:15. There are some important changes that she needs to discuss with you. Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock, it's time to drum. Bring your drums, your rattles, everything that makes noise, and you come and make some noise and raise your spiritual vibrations. We immediately need volunteers to learn how to operate the soundboard. Amy had to leave us now, so Judy is all alone back there with sometime assistance from and she needs help. So please talk with Judy and Victoria if you're interested. We will once again be participating in Toys for Tots this year. We did that last year and had tons of wonderful toys. So please bring your new unwrapped toys for children through ages 12 and under. And you can do that any Sunday And on December 3rd, we will be collecting all of them. We'll have a drive-through where you can just drop things off from 10 to 4 on that Saturday. Drop off the new toys. Okay. So I think that's about it there. So I'm going to talk about our streaming people. So we need to know that you are the you in unity. And just remember that you are also the light of the world. Okay, let's sing.